glass cylinders. He described special equipment. He described the monitoring equipment, the security system to go down to levels 3 and 4. He said that they were never allowed down there. Only specially cleared people with very specific clearances, which included, at least, included a plastic card with magnetic information in it, a handprint, and a right eye retina scan, and put their eye to a little camera. And if they passed, they could go down. If not, their instructions were to arrest them immediately and have somebody from above come down and get them.
This is a very vast complex.
Big place, huh?
Big place. The elevators are right here. There's 4 elevators. 3 and 4 are extremely security. There are no sentries down at 3 or 4. And the levels of 3 and 4, I don't know what goes on down there. I heard something about an Abby or EB down there. I'm not too familiar with what it is, but as you get off the elevators, get off, then this is level 2. You walk in, the bays are over here. They're all separated by like an automatic doors that open and close each bay. Walk down, there's 5 on each side. There's a hallway right there, and each of these bays have elevators. It'll bring them all the way to the top. It'll bring the whole floor all the way up with a hydraulic system. Now, as you walk down, there's a lot of machinery right here, which I have no recollection of what it does. I believe I've never been in that area. My job was to be a sentry for these 3 gates and up above in the level complex, and sometimes I would be walking down here escorting people. Now, over on this, there's a hallway down here that breaks off, which is there's a big computer system right here. I believe it's a computer system. I'm not going to say for sure. Right here is a level of 7 tubes. These tubes are about 2 feet in width. They're about 6 feet in height.
Stand on end.
They stand on end on end. Now, as you walk in and you look at these tubes, I'm just going to draw a picture of one. They're all exactly the same, and the creatures inside are completely identical. There's absolutely no way that I can see of identifying each and every one of them individually. Now there's an aluminum part right here. I don't know if it's covering the genitals of them or not, but the rest is filled with the solution. There's a couple tanks right here. I don't know if they're oxygen. I don't know what they hold. There's no identifying marks on them whatsoever. There's absolutely no air in the tanks. It's all solution. And the grays are just in here, right here. They're suspended, so I imagine they're being clamped somehow, some way to hold them in this completely, where their feet is completely off the ground and stuff like that. And under here, there's about a 1-foot pedestal of black iron steel, like it's polished, but it looks like a black polished anodized iron. Now the things inside resemble what everybody sees, and the only thing that's different about them from what I see on all the pictures is the eyes appear to be have deteriorated or They look like prunes. They're like your fingers get pruned. They're all shriveled up, and you can't see no eye sockets, and there's no visible eyelids or anything like that. They have a grayish, like a grayish pigmentation. It's not scaly or anything. It's like a pigmentation. There's no apparent hair on them. There's little holes, not really slits, but a little hole, maybe an ear cartilage. I don't know if you're hearing. Slits are really kind of small for the nose and the mouth. The bodies themselves are very, very thin. They appear not to have any breast or navel or anything like that. Not that I can see. Yeah. I wasn't able to sit and study them in full view for a while. I don't think I have heard talk there that I know their systems aren't like ours. But they're very thin and they look very, very frail.
What convinced you that Tennessee told you the truth?
We only have looking him in the eye and talking to him. We've analyzed his voice during the narration. Doesn't show any signs of stress. We've heard rumors of some details inside from others that has never been released or published. So unless they were on the inside circle and knew what was being held back, most people would never know the information that he gave us. Most of the information that he gave us checked with other information we already had, and it has checked since with other information that we have acquired since the time we interviewed him.
Mr. Bolton, you came in contact with a sergeant who worked at Area 51.
Yes, I was on an American television program called Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion, and at the end of the program they gave my telephone number. This gentleman contacted me through that telephone number and related to me that he was in fact a master sergeant at Area 51 for over 12 years, and that everything that had to be taken in and out of the base or transported from one place to another on the facility had to go across his desk. Of course, the man had a very high-level, top-secret clearance. He gave me his name, he gave me a military ID number, which I was able to check, and his military ID did in fact check out that he had worked at Nellis Air Force Base and had then worked at the Area 51 facility. He told me a number of very interesting things about how the facility was laid out, how many levels the facility had, how it was connected to other facilities, and he asked me a number of questions about things that he didn't really know about, just stuff that he had seen going across his desk, and was curious about how certain things work. So there was an exchange of information between he and I. It is unfortunate that he seems to have disappeared. He seems to have moved with no forwarding address. His telephone number no longer works. I was in contact with him for quite a period of time, and then the man simply vanished.
Did he ever see alien spaceship or alien bodies?
On many occasions, he told me, Chip is what he called himself, that he had in fact transported disc-like saucers, what he considered to be alien spacecraft. And remember, he was not sure if they were alien or not. He never saw the actual paperwork on the craft. He was only responsible for transporting the objects from place to place. However, he did transport a number of very large 30 to 60-foot disc-shaped craft. He was responsible for transporting some bell-shaped objects. He said when they were at rest that they were a very dull gunmetal color. He did, in fact, witness on a number of occasions the tests of these craft, because they would have to cart them out to a certain place and then they'd take them off, and then the objects would then fly around. And he was asking me how something that looked so dead and so lifeless could then glow up the way that it did, and the metal on the ship would actually look as though it was alive. As far as the alien bodies were concerned, he told me that Area 51 had 5 underground levels to it. This was confirmed by 3 other sources that I had at the facility. He also claimed that there were not only living aliens on the base that he not only saw, because he was responsible for transporting them